3DS,
like
and then
Super Mario
LL
games,
instead
new
of
Super Mario.
Yeah, and it says LL instead of XL, but I think that's just a Japanese thing because all the spec photos that we have are in Japanese. But maybe Bengt
speaks Japanese.
has those details. But yeah, let's get up on the stream here.
Yeah, Ben, can you explain this? Explain to me.
Yeah, explaining the Nintendo strategy for the 3DS models and the add-ons and everything is, I think I need a flow chart and some sort of PowerPoint presentation stuff going for that because it's really complex. But basically, they're adding a bunch of stuff to the 3DS now, and this model is due out in Japan this year, I think, and next year for Europe. They're adding new buttons. They're adding the analog knob that I'm not quite sure how it's gonna work, if it's even useful in any sort of way.
The old knob was bad on the 3DS. Just wait till you try this one.
I don't even know what I'm supposed to say. I mean, and it's above the face button, so I don't understand how I'm gonna hold that and be comfortable. But you know, we'll have to wait and see on that. I don't think that any 3DS games will sort of bank on that analog to be central to gaming and used all the time, because it doesn't make sense. Maybe in some sort of situations that could be good.
I guess you use it instead of what was called the Pro Slider or the attachment.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they probably just wanted to build in that functionality because of the Monster Hunter games and stuff like that, and so that they didn't have to sell the add-on anymore. There's other features. Amiibo is going to be built in, which sort of makes a lot of sense for Nintendo to have that. That is going to be central to their new strategy. I'm not sure what the extra shoulder buttons really add, but I'm sure there are going to be games that can take advantage of that, and perhaps if you're using the little analog knob, maybe you want to have extra buttons on the back because you're not going to be able to reach the face buttons quite as easily.
Is there a shoulder button extra on each side, or is it just on the right side? There's
Yeah, I think it's 4 shoulder buttons, so 2 on each side.
The placement is kind of...
Also, right now, breaking, I just saw that there's actually going to be a game on the Xenoblade Chronicles. It's going to be exclusive to the new model. So, obviously, the new model adds a lot of stuff, and then there is probably going to be more games that will take advantage of this and be exclusive to this, which is sort of even more confusing and not really ideal, but we'll have to wait and see really what the strategy is here for Nintendo with this one. I'm excited about it though, and I'm kind of upset that it's not coming out until next year, because I'd like to upgrade to this just because it's it has a few features, and I really think that the fact that the 3D functionality has been improved is a big deal. The fact that it's
that you can
I mean, we don't know
angle.
exactly how much that changes, but yeah, that the fact that you don't have to look straight on really, because for a handheld, there aren't a lot of situations where you're sitting at the exact same angle for hours and hours. You know, you probably move around a little bit. That's sort of the thing with a portable.
Even if you're sitting still, just holding the 3DS completely steady for so long is like near impossible. And then you have that moment where like, whoa, my eyes, the 3D is weird.
Yeah. So I'm curious how they have solved that and how it works, but it sounds amazing, and that is certainly something that I think will make most hardcore users of 3DS want to upgrade, just based on that features, and then the fact that the analog knob looks a bit silly. You know, we can live with that.
Yeah, and I want to bring this back a little bit to the new bumper or the shoulder button. That placement seems very awkward to use.
You can use both.
It is next to each other, right?
Yeah, you can press 2 very easily, but if you only want to press ZR button, you know, without hitting the right button.
I'm guessing like what they figure is that people will have their fingers very high on the device with the analog knob, so you can reach much easier with the back of your finger. those buttons. But you know, yeah, it is a little bit different, and I would much rather have seen them on top of each other somehow. But I can sort of see why they wouldn't want to do that, because it's, you know, the way it folds and stuff. It's not really used. I mean, I can see sort of engineering troubles with that, but I would much rather have seen them on top of each other.
One
as well.
of the photos that they released has the Nintendo GameCube controller shown next to it, so it's like.
And the buttons are not the same at all, and the stick is in different positions.
No, but you can get the same functionality.
Yeah, but
so I'm guessing they're
exactly.
going to be bringing more GameCube games.
True, but it's just I don't know.
And Xenoblade Chronicles, that is an old GameCube game, isn't it? I don't know. I'm gonna Google it now as we speak, but I certainly think. I mean, my immediate reaction was, okay, so are we gonna see a lot of GameCube remakes or reissues now?
Without the virtual
because
touchpad
obviously.
now. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be at least a little bit more comfortable to control. But I'm just getting flashback to like the IBM notebooks that had the red dot in the middle of the keyboard.
Exactly. I sold my old 3DS and I actually really want a new one. But I'm looking forward to see what people say about actually playing this, because this could be very awkward.
But then again, if you are buying a new 3DS, this would be the one.
Yeah,
to get.
but I don't want to buy it if it doesn't feel good. I don't want to have like claw hands again.
Yeah. And also, speaking of which, they're releasing both models at the same time, the regular size and the XL, or the LL if they're going to keep that name in the West. So that's nice.
And then of course they still have the 2D as well.
Yeah.
So it's really a jungle out there in terms of 3DS models and different add-ons and strategies. It is a little bit difficult to sort of get your head around exactly. Are they changing their minds all the time, or is this a grand strategy at play here? Or what's going on? It feels a little bit strange.
We have a picture here showing that the new 3DS XL is
slightly bigger than the old.
I mean,
XL.
it's slightly bigger, slightly wider. It's thinner and lighter as well.
But it's like more. No, it's half a millimeter and like 5 grams lighter, 7 grams.
Yeah. Well, and another thing that we haven't talked about is the skins.
Oh yeah.
I think that's a pretty neat idea, actually.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure it's going to be.
We actually have an image of that, so if you can explain exactly what that is.
The idea is that you can replace the skins of the 3DS, different themes, etc., etc. Sort of like the limited edition versions that have been released so far, but you know, you can replace the skins. You know, everyone, of course, gamer remember the old skins for the Xbox 360 didn't really take off, but I think it's a nice idea because a lot of people like these limited edition handheld models. This way you can sort of change it up and you don't have to buy 4 different ones just because you want that special motif on it. So that might be a good thing, but you know, at the same time it sort of takes away a little bit from that sort of limited edition models that I kind of like that they do that as well. So we'll see. But it's a neat little feature. It sort of harkens to the olden days of cell phone skins and everything. But it's a neat feature.
Yeah, and there's also a new SD slot on it as well, I think.
That's on the front, but that's on the small one, right? Yeah, that was on the front instead of the back.
That.
But yeah, I think that was just on the back before the card slot for the game.
Yeah. Okay. Guess they have to move some innards to make room for the new 3D technology.
But I mean, the problem that we're faced with now is, of course, what games are going to make use of these extra buttons, these extra analogs, and will that sort of mean that the old models cannot play those games? That's the sort of
people left out.
Dilemma we're faced with here. I mean, Xenoblade Chronicles, I should get back to that, has been announced that it's only coming on 3. Of course, it's an old Wii game, not a GameCube game, but I could see them bringing over a few games like that and adapting them and making them exclusive to this model. But if there's, say, a new Animal Crossing or a new Mario or one of the big games on the Nintendo handheld, if you only go with those models, you're sort of saying goodbye to 40 million users of the old
that would be
model.
weird as well.
It doesn't make a lot of sense. So the jury's still out on all these changes, I'd say.
Yeah.
But some of them are great regardless. But with the buttons and the analog knob more specifically.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's all we have to say about that. When are they coming out again, Bengt?
I don't know the Japanese release date. I think it's pretty soon. Was it October or November or something?
That sounds plausible.
But the European one is sort of 2015, not really specified at this point. And they haven't really sort of officially. Yeah, it's still mainly a Japanese news item so far, but we don't have it confirmed when it's coming out in Europe.
Yeah, but let's move on to the next piece then. A lot of activity from a hacker group I haven't heard about before, Lizard Squad, that basically took on the entire gaming establishment. It took down PSN, Battle.net, League of Legends,
Path of Exile.
They went after Xbox as well, I think.
And I think there were more that actually went down. That we just don't have any.
Yeah. I mean, several.
I think that some probably
across the week.
I think some probably withstood the DDoS attack, and you didn't really notice it. And of course, then it's not in their interest to say, "Hey, we're being attacked now." So only the ones that sort of had troubles were probably are the ones that we know of.
Yeah, but no personal information leaked at all, as far as we know.
No, it's not that kind of attack.
It's only a distributed denial of service attack. So basically, taking the servers out of commission.
Yeah, I guess it was mainly people playing the online games, and then a lot of people wanted to download a game they had on PSN. They couldn't download it, couldn't play it.
I mean, and I also think that for Sony, I think they were probably a little bit scared and took a precautionary approach to it because obviously they had the big outage. So I think they took their time a little bit more than perhaps some of these other games that were up and running as quickly as possible as soon as they sort of identified and sort of were able to deal with it. So I think that is probably the reason why Sony took a little bit longer to get back. I think it was out for about a day or something.
Yeah. And we have up on screen now another news piece that I think is actually more serious. The hackers as well grounded a plane that had Sony Online Smedley on board.
Yeah, and landed at a different airport.
Had it diverted and landed elsewhere due to a bomb threat.
Yeah, Sony Online Entertainment were one of the companies that were hit with this, but they were very quick on getting their servers back up. And John Smedley is, of course, very sort of vocal, and he's very personal on his Twitter. So I think he wrote something about flying from Dallas to San Diego, and going after him. Apparently, I don't really know, but I think it was the tweet that Lizard Squad sent out that was sort of like a thinly wielded bomb threat, but sort of not really, But it's the kind of thing that an airline would immediately react to and act on. Of course. Because, they have to act on everything. So it's like, I mean, this is the kind of thing. It's like when a live stream gets swatted, for instance, or
we've had actually two
that
of
kind
those
of thing.
This week.
Not us.
No, it's like
in the wide world of the gaming.
The cops do not have access to the GRTV offices. I mean, it's one of those things where taking trolling a little bit too far, and this is also like something like, what are you doing? You're.
Yeah, this doesn't help anyone.
Know. But no, and it doesn't really prove. I mean, I don't really know if there was a message with this, at first they were like, Sony are greedy, not using the money to build up PSN, which, you know, I can sort of get that. Sony getting millions and millions now with the new PS Plus. Everybody needs it to play, and perhaps they haven't invested enough to withstand a DDoS attack. And, you know, calling them on that, I can sort of see that. I mean, you know, I can see that. But then they sort of brought in the whole jihadist thing, you know.
Yeah, let's take down
I think that
Battle.net
is
as
only
well,
like. I think it's only trolling. I don't think there's any sort of political thing about this at all. Not that I can take seriously anyway. So I think that it's just, you know, them playing.
I mean, there's no straight political message
guys.
that they've put forth that I've seen from the Twitter feed. It's basically just, look at us, look how good we are.
Look what we can do.
Yeah, here's what we can do.
Yeah.
And apparently,
and that is pretty much usually what it is about. I mean, you want to prove yourself by doing something publicly. So, you know, the good news about this was the attack wasn't really malicious in the way that, sure, it took the services down for a little bit, but it didn't ruin anything. It didn't sort of break anything, and the damage like afterwards is not really that bad. So, you know, but of course, the cost of rerouting an airplane and people being delayed and all that kind of stuff is another story. And I think they may have invited more trouble than they would want. You know, it's one thing taking down a few servers,
and of course,
when you make bomb threats to an airplane.
And of course, this means now FBI is on the case with the seriousness.
Yes, they take that seriously, and we of course don't know if it's anyone in America who did this or if it's outside. You know, but if you're in America, you know, the FBI have pretty mean tools to find out who you are if you make that kind of threat. So you know, we hear all these things about Snowden and NSA and all that stuff. You know, those are the kind of things they can put in play when you make a bomb threat. So, you know, it's it can get very serious for those guys.
Now, another service that was hit with the DDoS attacks from Lizard Squad was Twitch, but I don't think they were sweating as much because in other news this week, Twitch got picked up for nearly $1 billion.
That's billion with a B.
Yeah, with a big B. By Amazon.
Yeah.
I mean, the reports have been saying that it was Google who was going to buy them, but
for a long time.
Yeah, for a long time. But Twitch went with Amazon, and thanks the community on their side.
Apparently, I read a report that apparently Google backed out because they were afraid that they would not get the deal passed through. You know, when they look at competition and that sort of thing. So probably part of the reason. I don't really see that the deal makes sense. I don't see Amazon as. I don't really know what they're gonna do in this space.
Maybe they're gonna use some of it for. They have some. We don't really have it in Europe, but in the US they have a Amazon streaming
on-demand
films.
Maybe with their Fire tablets and all
maybe
that.
they want to use some technology there. And I mean it's on on Apple TVs and you can use it on a computer. And I think a lot of people in the US are using Amazon Prime and then get streaming films as well.
Yeah, but I mean, Amazon are dabbing in a lot of different things, and apparently their smartphone is a massive failure, and they are trying out a lot of different things. They've got the Fire TV as well. They want to get into gaming, but I don't see the same synergies as I would see with Google. I mean, there's a lot of synergies there and things that could be good for both companies. And potentially bad for streamers. I think that any time that something like Twitch gets bought up, it's potentially bad for the people who are actually involved with the service, because you don't know what the new owners, what kind of policies they'll put in place and stuff like that.
And
so
I mean, we've already seen
that.
some sort of backlash with that now with the Dota 2 tournament where they implemented some of the copyright restrictions, and basically they were muted. They muted their own broadcast.
I think they had to do that because they're so big now that they're opening themselves up to a lot of legal problems if they don't do it. So I think that was inevitable. Like regardless of being bought out or not, they would have to take some steps to sort of mitigate potential legal problems. But you know, it's one of those things. You know, I read the letter from the CEO of Twitch to the Twitch community, and really it is a little bit like. It feels a little bit strange. There's these guys who are getting a lot of money, but of course it's not from the people who actually built Twitch, like the streamers. They're not getting squat from this
well,
deal.
they got this open letter that we have up on screen from Twitch.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of thank you, but what it doesn't say is thank you. We're rich now.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That would be awesome if that was just a letter.
I'm rich.
That is always going to be the case. You know, of course, with anything that is sort of community driven, there's still going to be an owner, and they're going to make money if they sell it off. So that is nothing strange or weird. But I just hope that, you know, there's $1 billion that's being pushed through in one direction here. Let's hope that there is equal, you know, that there's a lot of money that goes into sort of building up and making the service better for the streamers.
Let me just ask about something, because it was $970 million. Why won't you just do $1 billion? I'm very confused. It's a tiny thing, but
it's the small victories in life.
It's like there was something that was like missing, and then they were like, "I will cut off like 30."
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, that is a great question. I think we have to ask the people involved in that deal. But you know,
maybe the rest was
I have no idea.
payments.
Yeah, I guess it's a lot of money you save, but it just seems so weird to be like, "Oh, we'll spend $1 billion." No. Wait, let's.
I don't know that it's cash either. You know, it may be stocks or a combination. So that however they arrived at that sum is like, yeah, you don't know. Like, I mean, if they got stock, then that value will sort of differ a little bit. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, moving on to the.
Obviously, when Google was out of the equation, though, the price dropped.
Yeah, that was the drop.
But yeah, moving on. Assassin's Creed Unity has been pushed back a couple of weeks. Let's get a trailer up here.
Yes.
Yeah, so another delay. At least it's just a couple of weeks.
It's not
I think
too
this
bad.
is perfect. Call of Duty comes out, have a couple of weeks, and then we can play Assassin's Creed. Great.
Yeah, it's coming out. It's coming out very close to Far Cry 4, though. So for Ubisoft, it's a little bit strange. Also, Assassin's Creed Rogue is now coming out on the exact same day as Unity. It was meant to be a 2-week space between them two. So for Ubisoft, it means that they're probably going to get their 3 biggest titles of the year out within a week.
That's crazy.
And I think they also have the crew like right around that time.
Yeah, but that's
I might be mistaken on that, but
I think so.
no,
It's hard to
no,
keep
it's
track.
November as well.
But yeah, it's true. Either way, they have a lot of games coming out there. Then that's true. But I like that.
Yeah,
'cause
so there's
one
gonna
of
be
my
bits-
problems with, for instance, I just actually played Assassin's Creed 3, and I think there's a great game hidden in there, but it has some problems, and it's mainly actually the bugs. So if they can take 2 weeks more to clean that game up, I think it will be like really great for everyone.
Yeah, you're the optimist, Nick. I'm more the pessimist. I'm like, okay, so you really had a broken game if you have to push it 2 weeks now, like right in the last few.
Yeah.
You know, and they're already talking about the day 1 patch. So I think that.
I think it's going to be
they're
another
really
Assassin's Creed
stressing.
3 situation.
Yeah, I hopefully that is what they can prevent, like the Assassin's Creed 3 situation. But you know, obviously, an Assassin's Creed game they've pushed it out in the past when it's not been quite ready. So,
but also, I mean, how much good does a 2 weeks do? I mean, they have to, get it gold and then send it out to print.
Yeah.
But I mean,
disc.
I think
the date is still moved 2 weeks, even though the gold date will probably be 2-3 weeks before. But
I'm not sure you're right about that, Nick, because the actual printing of discs and stuff, that's really difficult to change at this stage, because it's scheduled a long time ahead, and moving things around when there are so many big titles coming out at the different facilities, that's going to be difficult. So I think what mainly these 2 weeks are going to be is working on the day one patch, and that's probably going to be a big one.
True. I mean, I could also just see that they're like, well, we're not going to pass cert, so we're going to have to push this.
If it's that bad, But
I think it will be more than 2 weeks if they're anticipating that much.
Well, that's what's happening to Minecraft now, and that could still be like, I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah. The problem with Minecraft is that, when you miss your certification, then you gotta line up at the back of the line to do another one, and that takes time and it takes money and. But I think it's very different for EA and Ubisoft. We've seen in the past they pushed out games that might not be fully ready, but they don't really get stopped at certifications because of that. So they have a little bit of a special lane in those sort of situations, which sort of makes sense because they can push a day one patch that's gonna sort most of it, hopefully. I mean, my interpretation is that they want to give themselves more time for the day one patch to really bring the game to where they want it to be. But yeah, we don't know. But it's not a sign that everything is as it should be.
True, but I mean, maybe they should have pushed it more. I'm just like, I also have a backlog now, so just push the games, make them better, and then. I'd rather play them when they're good.
It's not all about you, Nick. Other people may want to have it on October 28th.
I think it goes back to the thing. I'd like to get the order now, but I'm happy that's pushed to February if that makes the game better. I am so tired of broken games. I mean, and that's one of the things that has happened with the consoles we have now and the end of last generation. That they're sort of just relying on that day one patch and patches later down the line, and that's so annoying.
It is, and I really hope to do it. It's just that this sort of last minute shift by 2 weeks doesn't instill me with confidence. Like knowing how complex the development is of this magnitude. It's like it's a different when they push Evolve by 4 months to sort of sort things out. That's a different thing. 2 weeks is like
it almost just feels like maybe this date is better. And not.
Yeah, but I don't think so because of how congested it is there. I think they really wanted to hit their normal day there at the end of October. That's when when people expect
this is also like now they pushed it to like the last time before Black Friday, right?
Yeah.
So this is like if you want it out before then, this is the panic day.
I don't think they could push it more if they wanted it really this year. So it was either push it 2 weeks or push it to February
to all
or
the
March.
other games.
I don't. Yeah, exactly. And I don't think that was not really an option. Ubisoft wants Assassin's Creed Unity out this.
But also
this
actually November looks well. There's like a Call of Duty is gonna take a lot, but. Other than that, February actually looks more crazy now. Like, there are some big games coming out.
I think you still have a lot of big titles in November. You have Far Cry, you have Halo, the Master Chief Collection that I think is gonna get a lot of attention on Xbox One.
But that's shooters though. There's more in this genre. I feel like in. Anyway.
It's more of the sort of the action adventure in February. That's true.
Moving on to our next news piece.
Should we talk about that leak
as well?
Let's
talk about, let me bring that up here. It was a leak about a possible game mode.
In
Assassin's Creed, yeah.
Okay.
Let me...
well, the thing is, like, it looked very legit, but of course we can't talk about it in definite terms because it's not announced. But I mean, if someone faked that footage, that was a massive thing to fake.
Yeah.
It sure looked like they have a game mode that's sort of like a speed run. You collect glyphs in sort of a memory, you know, Assassin's Creed. It is single player. It's sort of like a time trial thing. You run around and you collect these things and you upload ghost data. You can use different characters from the past. You know, they sort of tying the various characters together and the various maps and the scenes.
Well,
from
the
earlier
clip
games.
has disappeared from the internet now. I'm not gonna hunt down a mirror.
It's
live,
no longer there.
Yeah.
Forget about it. It didn't happen. But yeah, it was called Rift or something,
Yeah,
and
Rift
pretty interesting thing. It's like another one of those little extras in an Assassin's Creed game, as if it didn't take enough time to play everything that's on offer in an Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah. But I mean, we haven't had any official word on this, I believe. Neither confirming nor denying anything. So this is still completely up in the air.
There's still a little time to go until. Yeah, it's little time to go until release, and Ubisoft have been sort of dropping different things about Assassin's Creed regularly. So I'm sure this one was supposed to be somewhere along, you know, towards the end of the campaign to sort of. Because it's fan service, you will be able to play as Kenway and Altair and Ezio, and that is something that fans will like. So they probably saved that.
They were looking forward to dropping that and being like, look what we did for you.
Yeah. But yeah, moving on then. Legend of Zelda and Animal Crossing are joining Mario Kart 8 as DLC. Let's get that.
Yes.
All right.
It's good. I think this is significant because it sort of shows that Nintendo are now sort of embracing the DLC, you know, trend properly. Like it's a real thing for them now. And these DLC packs are kind of nice. I think it's 8 tracks and 4 characters and few more things per
you almost
pack.
got it right. 3 characters, 4 vehicles, 8 courses.
Yeah, in each pack, and it's 2 packs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First pack coming November 2014 with
Link is in the first one, right?
Yeah,
Link is in the
Doris is
first
going to read
one.
out what's in there.
Yeah, so the first Mario Kart 8 pack is going to come out in November 2014 with 3 characters: Tanuki Mario, Cat, Peach, and Link. 4 vehicles and 8 courses. Then the second pack will hit May 2015 with Villager, Isabelle, and Dry Bowser. Also 4 vehicles and 8 courses.
So the Villager is from.
And if you buy both packs as a bundle or separately at the time of release, you'll get 8 different colored Yoshis and 8 different colored Shy Guys. So, and we have some screenshots there on screen.
Per pack is the price.
But I think, I mean, just speaking from I mean, 8 new tracks for a DLC that's, you know, moderately priced. Is priced like it's less. I think it was £7 or something.
That sounds good.
It sounds good, and you get 2 for like for a little bit less if you get both of them.
And then you get all the Yoshis and all that.
Yeah, and the Shy Guys.
Yes, all the Yoshis. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it is nice to see them. I think it's crazy that they put the second one in May. It's like, don't you want the drops a little bit like?
True, but then on the other hand, there's not going to be another Mario Kart for like 5 or 6 years.
No. And I could actually see them dropping more DLC down the line as well, because you know this is going to be the Mario Kart this generation for Wii U, so they can certainly drop more DLC, and you know, if they use this format with one character that's not from the Mario universe, you know, they can time that with other things to make it, you know,
I have to say
interesting.
these DLC packs are way more, well, interesting to me than the Mercedes.
Yeah, for sure.
DLC.
And Luigi is still looking angry in the
I
background.
was just gonna say, I love the death stare is still real.
They're not patching that out.
No.
And this is actually not like DLC helps a little bit extra for me. I still like, this is really the game that's pushing me towards maybe buying a Wii U.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's like, God damn it, Nintendo, you still.
Still have a hook.
Yeah,
Still have a hook
I
in
thought
me.
it was over.
Yeah. I mean, I think they've sort of built up a library now that you can certainly see yourself buying a Wii U for the games that are out now. And there's some big games coming now this fall and early next year as well. So it's certainly a more attractive proposition than it's been in the past.
Oop.
All right, this is getting meta again.
Oops.
All right, next news piece.
Yeah, let's take a look.
What do we have?
Let me see.
I should say there's prizes in the second half.
Oh,
of
yes.
Of the stream. It's lying here. Some Call of Duty swag. So be sure to stay in the stream, and then you will have a chance to win some of that.
Yeah, so the next news piece is the announcement of multiplayer, a 4-player co-op in Dragon Age Inquisition.
Okay.
We have the trailer running here.
Yeah.
So is it a horde mode or
Co-op.
I don't know. I think it's more like dungeon crawling quests. So I don't think it's a horde per se, but it
says 4-player
it's
co-op
structured
adventures.
a little bit like.
So.
Yeah. I could see it being limited maps though, so in that sense it could be a little bit horde-like, but yeah, it's more akin to sort of an RPG dungeon, I think. But yeah, they said that they structured it based on the feedback they got from Mass Effect 3, the co-op mode there. Which I actually was surprised by how much I played that back in the day. I actually enjoyed that quite a bit. Of course, the thing that is, you know, it is only on the side. It's not part of the main campaign. You're not going to be in the open world, so it's more like an extra offering. And apparently you won't carry over your character or well, maybe your character, but not your weapons and that sort of thing. So it's going to be a separate thing. I don't know how it will play in. Maybe there's going to be something like Mass Effect. There was that Galaxy at War meter thing going. So maybe there's going to be like an Inquisition meter to see how if you can affect the main campaign in any way by multiplayer. But I don't really know. I mean, for me, Dragon Age is a single-player game. I don't need this, but I guess we'll have to wait and see if it's any fun.
Yeah, but I mean, they did stress that it's separate from the main game.
Yeah.
So take it or leave it.
It's not like Fable Legends or anything like that.
Take it or leave it, basically.
Yeah.
But I have to say,
I mean,
as well,
that was exactly the same.
I mean, I haven't really played Dragon Age, but this is looking very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very excited about that, and probably going to sink in a ton of hours into it.
Is this coming out this year? Or is this moved to February?
November.
Oh, okay.
November.
Because I'm thinking I'm just going to wait for The Witcher with that stuff.
Yeah, that's in February. But I think they're going to be a little bit different. I think the tone is a little bit different. Yeah, but just
like the amount of time and like RPG-ish. Like I don't have time for 2 games like that.
I certainly see you, but for me it's perfect timing because it comes out in November. I'm gonna have time to finish it, and then comes Witcher in February. It's gonna be perfect. No breaks or anything. I'm just gonna play.
Yeah. So we move on to our next piece. Harmonix have announced City Sleeps, another game being announced by Harmonix. Let me get the trailer up here.
Is it a shmup? Musical
of course
shmup.
It's music. It's Harmonix.
Yeah. I think it's interesting with Harmonix. They're working on so many games right now. It's crazy.
I mean, how big has the studio become, manpower-wise?
I think it's just small teams, isn't it?
Yes, I think you're right, Nick. I think they're probably smaller than they were when they did Rock Band. because they have had some cutbacks since then. But I think these are small teams that are working on Amplitude and on Chroma and on the City Sleeps. And I think Dance Central team is pretty small now, because I think they've got the sort of the basic tech done for that, so they can just work on getting content for that, and that's not going to be require as much manpower. And they're also doing Fantasia, but I think Fantasia, they've probably been finished for a while now with that project, because it's just been dragging on and on.
Yeah, well, hopefully.
And then it's coming out pretty soon. But yeah, I think it's smaller teams at Harmonix, and interesting stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Smops, what's not to like?
Yeah. I'm not I saw it a little bit. I'm not super enthused by the visual looks of it. I think it looks a little bit flimsy, but
I like the art style and the other stuff, but the actual gameplay, I was like, I don't know. But it's early. Let's see when it actually.
Yeah, and I mean,
it's nice to see them play around with things. You know that the gameplay and the preciseness of it's going to be there. So.
But it's also just from these short gameplay clips that they show here. It seems like they have some gameplay features from games like Nick Holmberg, with like you have to have certain colors to interact with certain parts of the environment, and
Ikaruga and
Superstar does like that as well.
Yeah, so it's not just shooting; it's also you need to think and choose your weapon and combos and stuff. So I mean, yeah, I'm intrigued.
Yes. And we can segue into our next topic, I think, because this is a game that's been shown at PAX. I think it's coming out in October already, as City Sleeps, on Steam.
Yeah, you can pre-order now on Steam. There's not a date in the trailer, but...
Yeah, I think it's... I read somewhere that it's October, but, you know, we'll see about that. But it's being... I think it's playable at PAX. Harmonix have a pretty big presence there, this is sort of a PAX announcement, you could say.
And speaking of PAX announcements,
and that takes us to.
So PAX today is kicking off today properly, and there are already some tweets teasing stuff of what might get announced, and we're gonna talk a little bit about what we expect. So a little bit of. Well, Bengt, what do you think we're going to hear in the next couple of hours?
You know, PAX is a little bit different than, say, an E3 or GDC or Gamescom, in that, you know, there's not really press conferences. You don't really know exactly when. So I think a lot of the new announcements, the games, they're going to drop as soon as the floor opens, which is... I think it's at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock Central European time today, so 9 or 10 back in on the west coast of North America.
Yeah, so just as we finish streaming here, you can head to the site and follow up on the written news pieces.
Yeah, there'll probably be one or two announcements at least. We know that there's going to be some announcements, but. I looked over the schedule for PAX this year, and quite honestly, it's not that many panels or things like that where I think there's going to be major announcements. Like I remember when you and me, Dory, we were at PAX East back in 2013, right? And we saw the announcement of Hearthstone.
Yeah, that was.
I don't think
that was a very excited hall. Or venue, just exploded.
I didn't spot anything that I think is going to be like that. Where I mean, there's panels with Firaxis, with Gearbox, but I think they're mainly going to focus on games that we already know about. So I'm not sure it's going to be new announcements from them. But of course, you never know with Gearbox. I mean, they could be working on something. You never know, but
I mean, one game that we know is going to be featured, and we're going to hear more about, is the Behemoth's game number 4. I think I have the trailer here. Yeah.
They have already sort of said that they're going to unveil it. It's going to be playable on the floor.
No, wait,
so that is probably one of the games.
That's what I said. This looks a lot different than what I thought it would look like. That's amazing. I've had a proper mind-blown moment there. That was amazing.
Here we go. The proper Game 4 trailer from the Behemoth. We can get that up on the stream. Sorry about that.
Yes.
I'm going to watch the replay of that because my face is going to be like...
But yeah, we know nothing of the game except for this teaser right here. But we're going to find out more.
I mean, they've shown some artwork, and you know, it's what's his name? I can't remember. Dan something. He's the art guy at Behemoth. He has a very particular style and he likes cats.
Isn't it Tom Fulp? Anyway, from Newgrounds. Yeah.
Okay. Regardless, it's playable, and I'm very interested to see what it is and what platforms it's coming to and all that sort of good stuff. The Behemoth, of course, if you don't know them, they're the team that has done Alien Hominid, then Castle Crashers, then Battle Block Theater. So some great pedigree there, and they tend to show their stuff at PAX. They
and
really
not
like
only
that
showing
sort of
it, but it's going to be playable at PAX.
Yeah. They have their specially made arcade machines that they usually bring out, so probably going to be a great thing. Also, Team Meat are going to announce a new game at PAX.
Yeah, I think I have the news piece here. Yeah, so they tease a new game. Question is it Super Meat Boy Forever?
Yeah, I don't really know what the name was that they teased, but the letters make up Super Meat Boy Forever.
Voyeur for September.
Yeah, Voyeur. Yeah, it's a really strange title.
But some YouTube users spotted that it's actually an anagram for Super Meat Boy Forever.
That's probably that. Yeah. Like the chance of that, just like that's not a coincidence. No. Oh, it just happened to be.
No.
And very in tune with the humor of
They could be trolling
Team
us
Meat.
as well. They could be trolling us.
Yeah, them trolling us with it would be also very in tune.
That would be great if there's like, okay, we need to come up with a title that can be an anagram for something that would troll people.
You never know with those guys.
And Super Meat Boy looks like this as well?
Shut up. Here we have the teaser trailer that they released.
Yeah. And we also sort of have strong hints that we'll see a new Saints Row at PAX. Volition will premiere their new game there. Not sure when that is going to be, because I can imagine that that's going to be like at a little bit of a press event or something. So it could either be right now at when the show kicks off, or it could be a little bit later. I'm not sure. I don't have any special insights into that, but I can certainly see that could be a game that they perhaps don't have on the floor, but rather at an event.
Yeah. See, I'm gonna bring up the tweet from that came out just an hour ago or so.
Yeah, it wasn't really. They weren't really. I think it was pretty much straight out.
Yeah.
People could.
I can get this up on the stream here. I mean, this can only mean one thing, really.
Yeah. And well. It is not too long ago that Saints Row 4 came out, so but obviously we all knew that Volition were working on a next gen project alongside that, and you know, likely this is it. So excited to see where they take it.
I'm kind of interested in if you look at the picture that they tweeted out. They have the Saints Row logo here. It's like on a Ouya board. And inside the logo they have 666. So what, they're just gonna jump straight to game number 6?
Well, I mean they dealt with aliens in the last one, right? So maybe they will deal with well with the undead, with the spiritual world in the new one. I don't know.
Yeah, it could fit. There's a new gang leader in town. His name is Satan.
Yeah, I mean 666 doesn't necessarily mean Saints Row 6. No. Yeah, we'll see what that means, but you know, I'm interested to see what Volition can do with new gen and you know, that sort of thing. So yeah.
Yeah. So moving on to the next piece, Sega has an announcement. Yakuza 0 is coming out on PS4 and PS3. I'll get this up here. So, yeah, they've announced that it's being developed, Yakuza 0 is being developed for PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4. The action game is being targeted for release in Japan, and more info is due with Tokyo Game Show in September. Crossing fingers that I'll be going there. But like many of the Yakuza games, it's likely that it won't be released in Europe.
I mean, they did a thing where they got Yakuza 4 and Yakuza Dead Souls out here. We still haven't seen Yakuza Ishin, which is out on PS3 and PS4 in Japan. You know, it's one of those things where Sega never really made it work in Western territories. It's a huge deal in Japan, but it's never really worked here. I don't know. Fingers crossed that they will be bringing it over, but I wouldn't hold my breath because it feels like they've sort of dropped that for Western audiences.
Yeah, but they've just announced that it's being developed. I don't think there's a release date unless I'm reading this correctly here in Japanese, that it's coming out in 2018.
I don't think you're reading that correctly. what is the... Okay, yeah, let's just...
Plenty of time to brush up on your Japanese and order an import version.
Yeah.
You didn't want to go for 2,818?
No. Well, we have, 6 minutes left, so let's jump into our final news piece. We're going to talk about games with gold and PS Plus in September.
All right. Do it. So I'll come back for Plus.
Yeah. Let me get this trailer. Let's start with the PS Plus, because I have a trailer for that.
Yep.
So, Bengt, give us the lineup. What's in, what's out?
I only know what's in.
That's what matters. If what you need to do every month is go download everything or buy it, and then you don't have to worry about it. Just do it. You'll be happy about it later.
Early first week of every month, you just download the stuff, and then
I've actually just done this yesterday. I went in and checked that I had downloaded everything, because the whole thing was let me download this one. That's one leaving next week. Just do everything.
Yeah. Now we have the trailer here, but I'm not sure if it's region specific to the US or not.
It is. I have checked this. From what I've seen, it's identical this time in the US and Europe.
Yeah, it's the same games. It's the same games.
So we're getting Velocity and Sports Friend on the PS4.
That's the old Velocity, not the new one, or is it the new one?
No, I think it's the new one. It's just coming out now
that's
on PS4.
Really big. That's a game that's actually releasing now. We're getting.
Yeah, and then on PS3 we're getting PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale and Horde, and PS Vita Joe Danger and TXK.
Yeah.
I think All Stars Battle Royale is actually cross-buy, so you get that on Vita as well.
Yeah, but I guess that's not PS4, so PS3 and Vita. Yeah. Sports Friends is also cross-buy. I think you're getting both the PS4 and PS3 version.
But I'm not sure that it's cross-buy on Instant Game Collection. I didn't say.
I mean, they do put it into a column.
Okay.
Specific. So.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. I already bought that, so don't worry about it, guys.
Yeah, you crowdfunded it, so.
Yeah.
And then I kicked your ass in it.
Well, let's go back and see who kicked whose ass.
Oh, yes, let us do that.
Yeah. So it really is. I'd say it's really this month on PS Plus it's a little bit of the smaller games compared to what has sometimes been the case. Of course, PlayStation Battle Royale is a major game, but it's you know, maybe not the game that really took off. You know, it's a little bit slower. I think Sports Friends is a really nice addition on PS4 there, because it's a game that you know, I think maybe not a lot of people bought it, so
I think
that's
this is a really good mix. Sport, which we're seeing now, is a really good game as well, I think. And then I'm like,
I haven't played Horde, so I don't know about it.
But as you saw there, you're a dragon flying around, and you have to fight knights and pick up gold, and it's a really good
Life of a Dragon, yo.
Really good arcade sort of game, and and then we're probably getting Drive Club. You know, we're getting that when that comes out, a version of that. So that's probably why they're mixing it up. Not every month can be like a big game month, but I think all the games here this month is actually good games. So.
It's good games, but I think if you compare it to Games with Gold that we're gonna get on to next, that is a little bit more like
bigger
the blockbuster stuff. Yes.
Let's get to that, because it's 5 o'clock, so let's get to it.
Yeah. So yeah, on Xbox 360 it is Monaco and Halo Reach. So really an amazing month on Games with Gold for Xbox 360 owners.
Let me just ask, because I don't have this. So does it work the same way, where you need to go download them, or how does that?
Yeah, on Xbox 360 it's different, because you don't have to stay an Xbox Live Gold member. You just download it and you own it forever. So that's still the deal on Xbox 360. On Xbox One, it is the same as with PlayStation. So
active
you
while you have
access to it for as long as you're so as long as you're paying. And on Xbox One, it is we're getting a second month of Crimson Dragon, which is not that exciting, but we're also getting Super Time Force, which is
when you say second month, that means we can only play that while that is on Gold, or do I? Oh, okay.
No. It's the same as PlayStation, but it's a free game for the second.
They just don't rotate that out, or what? Oh, okay.
No, they didn't rotate that. They rotated the other one, which was Strike Suit Zero last month, and it's now Super Time Force.
Yeah. And we have Crimson Dragon here running on stream. I haven't really followed like what kind of reception or reviews that it got.
No.
Bad ones.
Well, at least it's free.
Yeah.
Put that on the box.
I mean, I mean, I'm an old Panzer Dragon apologist, so
apologist.
I'm
I like
sure
that.
I'll
You were
download it
saying
and
that.
play it.
But another game that you mentioned there, Super Time Force. Let me get the trailer up here.
Yeah.
That is a great game.
That's a really nice one from
really
Cappy.
Great game.
Yeah. So I'll most definitely download that one, and I think.
I mean, again, download everything. Just do it.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah.
Always. Well, I mean, with the Xbox One, you have to think of the limitations of the hard drive.
Do you need to have it on your hard drive? Can you delete it and re-download it?
Yeah, I think you can. I think it registers that you have bought it then.
That's the way it should be.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a strong month for Games with Gold, and I think there are some really nice games on Instant Game Collection, even though it's maybe not as high profile this month.
And another title, of course, that you mentioned briefly that we're getting, but I guess we should give a little bit more talking time, is Halo Reach.
Yeah. I guess it's like they want to start the hype train for the Master Chief Collection. Of course, that is the one game that's not in.
Is this the last Halo game that came out, or was there one after this?
No, Halo 4 came out after, but this is the last one that Bungie did.
Okay.
So this was Bungie's farewell to the franchise, and it's not with Master Chief, it's with other Spartans, and you're the new recruit in the team, and it's a really nice game, and a lot of people still hold it as one of the best in the series. So certainly a game that you want to get if you don't have it already.
Yeah, I can see myself doing that actually. Like that sounds like it's almost worth just buying a month of gold to get like those two games, and then
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, it's a very cheap way of getting 2 games if you buy a
and
month
then like you need gold to play
for those.
online, so like then you can play Halo
Yeah.
Reach online for that month if you want to.
Exactly.
But yeah,
All
the
right,
sirens are
coming.
going, which means that we're out of time for news. But yeah, thanks for joining, Bengt. We're gonna move on to
Always a pleasure.
So we're gonna move on to Advanced Warfare and have Nick regale us with stories from his trip.
Yeah, so we're actually exporting part of the video now, so Solfan will go get that. So one of the things we'll start out with in a little bit is sort of a video diary that I attempted to do.
Yep.
See what you think of it.
See,
can you check the export of the other? Because the interview is not on there yet, so we need to put that on at some point. But yeah, so I try to like film how it is going on a trip like that. So there's a lot of plane and that sort of thing. We'll see.
I bet. I mean, you'll see the entire experience.
Yeah.
What it's like to go on one of these trips.
1.5 hours.
The interview? We might not get the interview this time, but
but it's gonna come up on the side.
We'll talk
of course.
about. I'll tell you the important points, and then the videos will go. We'll show them now, and I'll polish them a little bit more, and then we'll go up over the next week or so. The other thing is, I actually asked people on the GR Friday Nights Facebook page for questions, if they had any questions for the developers. So we're actually going to pick the best one and give that person part of this. And the other part of this that we have here is going to go to someone in the stream now. So what I have here is stuff I've gotten. I got this t-shirt in Cologne for the multiplayer reveal. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Get the title right.
Yeah.
And on the back, AW.
And some gum.
Yeah. So this will be one prize. The other prize for the other person will be Sledgehammer gum. This I got at the studio. I got actually. Can you go get the mug? I want to. I'm not giving that away, and it's not. It's actually because it's broken. I broke it. Well, the plane broke it. So I got a really nice Sledgehammer cup. Maybe we'll give it away at some point if someone wants it. Really nice cup. And then this happened, as you can see. So that's too bad. But so some of the other stuff we got: pen, gum, and a notebook.
Yes.
So that will be the two
stuff that we're giving away. So we're giving away the T-shirt, and then.
So I think one person will get this, and one person will get it, and we have to sort out who gets what.
But and we'll do that the usual way. We'll just wing it.
Yeah.
Figure something out.
But I think
somebody in the chat. And
we'll pick the best question that people helped me at the end of the stream, and then I guess we'll figure out the other stuff there as well.
Yeah.
You are wiring the video?
Yes, I'm moving it over. Solfin, did you also have the multiplayer gameplay that we had from Gamescom? We want to run that as well.
There's some, not that game. Yeah, there's some stuff on there. Anyway, so what happened was, of course, they revealed Call of Duty Advanced Warfare earlier.
Yep.
At Gamescom, which you can go see some of those videos as well. They had the multiplayer reveal. That interview that I did with Glenn and Michael there are actually on the website now if you want to go see it. And we did that whole tour, or I did, and we had winners from Gamereactor on there. And then right after, I actually flew to San Francisco to visit Sledgehammer. They didn't have a lot of new stuff there. There was more hands-on. I got to talk to the people and saw the game. Got a lot more hands-on. I probably played the game for about 10 hours now, which is quite a bit. But then one thing they said, which I don't know if we'll hear that part of the interview, is that they actually said they had some more info soon.
Oh.
Which I was actually thinking of bringing up during the PAX thing, because I don't know if there would be PAX. One of the things that people said that I should ask about was the co-op mode. So I asked about that. And they were like, well, there is a co-op mode, and we're having a lot of fun, but shortly there will be more. They said a little bit more in the interview, so you can check that video out when it goes up.
Yeah.
But you should.
I mean, PAX Prime, of course, is getting bigger and bigger, but it doesn't feel like the event that Activision would bring up a big announcement.
But it is like, I guess co-op mode is
it
big,
would be
but the way they're dropping things like now, like they sometimes do with fighting games, where they drop a character too. I could see them drop a map or a little bit info there.
Possibly.
To just keep the hype
it also
going.
would be a great venue to actually show off the co-op mode.
Exactly.
Especially
Especially
get
if
it in the hands of the actual
maybe it's
users.
4-player co-op this time. It would be great to have that on the floor. And I think that worked really well for them at Gamescom, that it was, you drop the multiplayer when you let people have hands on. That doesn't make sense dropping it at E3 where, you know, the main people who play Call of Duty multiplayer are not the reviewers. They play single player more, or the hardcore play multiplayer. All right, are we ready to roll the...
Yeah, should we roll the diary
We'll
first?
just roll the whole diary and then we'll
talk about it afterwards.
Yeah.
So yeah, cut to the diary.
So we're, or I'm here, Copenhagen Airport, on the way to Sledgehammer, big Call of Duty trip. I'm just going to give you a little more insight. I don't know if you saw my Road to Gamescom trip. A little more insight into the traveling. I was here super early, checked in from home, wouldn't let me print or get the boarding pass on the phone. Went down here, got in line for a really long time. Then they were like, no, you need to go over here to get the boarding pass because they were missing some information. Went over there. Then we're like, great, now you have your boarding pass. I had to go back and fix the whole luggage situation. So it's taken me a little over an hour, just walking back and forth, standing in line quite a bit. But that's the way it is. Hi, that's me. Hi, Nick. You can check this, I'm good. Thanks. All right. Just arrived in San Francisco at the hotel. Try to film the car a little bit. I'll maybe do a little bit of the lobby and stuff if you want to see this. But this is the hotel. Just got in, dropped my stuff, and I'll show you what a hotel looks like if you want to see that. So we go in 11:25 if you wonder, if you want to stalk me in the future. So the first thing that hits me when I entered this hotel was orange table. So it's a pretty nice hotel. Nothing crazy, but pretty nice. Again with the orange, a lot of mirrors. And one of the first things we always check is the bathroom. So decent shower, we like that. So I don't really know if this is interesting. So I don't know if this will make it into the video. If it does, someone has deemed this interesting. But yeah, this is what a hotel looks like. 2 nights in San Francisco. I doubt I'll spend much time here, but yeah. Morning, guys, in the hotel. I've been up for a few hours, or awake. As you can see, it's 7:30. We went for dinner last night. And I actually I was planning on filming it, but felt a little bit awkward and I was tired. We were only actually 3 people who went for dinner. The rest were tired. I think we're 7 or 8 people here, so 2 of us journalists and the PR. And it was a little bit down here in the lobby as well. I'll see if I can film it now in the bar. It felt a little bit weird bringing in a camera, but maybe I'll do it now. We'll see how it feels. Also, it was a little bit boring, and I've been told that we're going to have dinner with the devs tonight, so I'll maybe do a couple of shots there so you can see how that looks, if that's something you're interested in. But yeah, now I'm going to head down, get some breakfast. As you can hear, my throat is not doing too well. Hopefully that gets better. Maybe some tea will help.
And then I'm actually gonna go get some batteries, just normal AA's, just to be safe for the lights. I should have enough, but double safe, all that. Don't want to run out in the middle of an interview. And then wearing a nice shirt. I actually forgot my shirts at home when I was packing, apparently. So yesterday I also rushed out to get a couple of shirts to wear. And yeah, got sort of an overview of today. Heading out to the studio, heading out at 10, and then there was supposed to be a presentation, lunch, and then we're splitting out into doing interviews and hands-on. I'm going to interview several people, I think, and then dinner tomorrow night, and then, no, tonight, and then tomorrow morning we'll be flying home, so a short trip. But yeah, I think that's about it. Maybe I'll show you here. I've done a total mess here, so this is how it looks when you're tired. Came back at like 9:30 and I was so tired, crashed immediately. So yeah, I think that's it for now. I'll try to do some shots throughout the day of going there and different things, and we'll see how that turns out. Hey guys, next day, had a really cool day at the studio yesterday, got some more hands-on, got to talk to some cool people. Couldn't film a lot at the studio, did an interview on camera and did a little bit of shots from the studio, and we should get some B-roll as well, so I'm sure that will be cut into a video for all this travel stuff that wasn't. They're still very strict on what you can film at a studio like that, even though they were very open and very nice. So not much to show for that. I got a couple of hours in San Francisco now before heading out, flying back. 48 hours in the US. But before I do that, I just want to show you one thing. They gave us a little gift, which I actually haven't checked out yet. I was too tired when I got back last night. We had dinner with the Sledgehammer guys, some of the devs, and again, it felt a little bit awkward pulling out a camera and filming it. It's time to relax a bit and not talk too much work. Just have a nice dinner and hang out. And people were tired. I passed out early. But I'll show you what we got in the bag. We'll see what it is. So here it is. Let's see what we have. So calendar notebook thingy. I was about to say no branding, but there is Sledgehammer Games on it. And we'll see. Sledgehammer pen. I actually saw someone pull this out yesterday. Sledgehammer gum. Alright, and this is gonna be some of the cool stuff. Sledgehammer mug. That is pretty awesome. Nice big one as well. And I see a little bit something in here. And actually 2 Call of Duty Advanced Warfare shot glasses. I think that was actually it. And some blue paper. Yeah, that was it. So that was the bag. I'll keep some of it, but I might actually give some of it away as well. We'll see. And maybe if I contact the PR, maybe they can give us some more. But yeah, that's it for now. I might show you if I do something half interesting. I don't know what I'll do before I fly out. And then that's it for this trip. Got some video editing to do and some writing to do. I thought they had really interesting things to say, so I hope I can convey that. And I think the game looks really cool. It's fun to play some more and really, have proper time with it, so you begin to get more into it. So a lot of cool stuff. Most of it is things we can talk about. So I'll probably do a preview video when I get back as well. And we still have some gameplay, so I think I'll do some videos on different aspects, modes and maps and that sort of thing for multiplayer. But there's still some things that we can't talk about, which is really cool. So I think it's going to be a good year for Call of Duty. Really excited to get the game out and see how it is in the wild. Feel a little bit sick. That's how it is sometimes when you travel. Hope you enjoyed this trip. I didn't get to film as much as I wanted at the studio, but that's the way it is. I actually got a lot more access than I usually do, so I hope to get some nice stuff. There'll be tons of videos I plan to do at least. What I saw and things I could show and written stuff, all that. So I hope you enjoyed it. And that's it for this trip.
So that was a little bit short little clip detailing.
It was a short trip as well. I was in the US for like 48 hours, so it was pretty short.
And I think it gives a great, it shows exactly how the trip is. Yeah, it's very accurate. It's a lot of traveling, a lot of waiting around, and then you're in the studio, bam, 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 bam. You know, I want to film a little bit. No, no more time.
Yeah, I was in the studio for 5-6 hours probably.
Yeah.
So not a long period.
Yeah, and in that time you got a little bit of hands-on. You did some off-camera interviews.
So I can explain exactly what happened. So you fly there, go there in the evening, and as someone commented in the chat actually, yes, there's a huge chair in the lobby. That was really weird. And a lot of these hotels are really weird, like decorated. So go there, went there in the evening, went out for dinner. We were only 3 people for dinner, as I said in the video, because everybody was so tired. And I went to bed at like 9:30. Get up the next morning, go to the studio. Just, like, had a short presentation. You saw some of the shots there are from like B-roll and trailer stuff, and some I did. At the end, you saw the theater. We went in there. We saw some single-player stuff, and it was actually really funny because Glenn and Michael seem like awesome dudes, and they were riffing on each other all the time. And they had actually prepared the single-player video that they hadn't like got approved.
Yeah.
So they showed us stuff where then they were like, okay, before I guess like you can't talk about the stuff that we haven't approved and stuff. So we saw some things that we were asked not to talk about specifically, but to get a feel, because the plan is also I'm gonna write an article about it.
Okay, so now tell us everything in detail.
Yeah. So we saw that, and then we had lunch, and then we sort of went into this rotation where we took turns interviewing. First we had group interviews, which will go into the article, and then we took the rotations with interviewing, and then getting a studio tour, and then hands-on. So I had like another 4 hours of hands-on, and then interviews and stuff, and then went for a dinner with the devs, which I talked about as well. Like, it felt awkward pulling out the camera. It was nice. We actually mainly talked about non-Call of Duty stuff. And
I'm gonna roll a little bit of a gameplay that you captured at Gamescom here while we're talking.
All right. Yeah, and I'd say first of all, let's talk about the two questions that people really asked on the Facebook page. So the first one, as I said before, was co-op. So that should hit shortly. It sounded like to me like the way they answered that. Well, they said it was fun, and then they also said it sounded like it's something new. I don't think it's going to be zombies, and it might have zombies in there, but I don't think it's going to be like zombies or Spec Ops like we've had before, or the alien mode in Ghost. It sounds like they've developed something new. Yeah. They didn't say it directly because they couldn't, but that's what the impression I got.
Robot Max.
I mean, he actually said, in the end, like he sort of answered, and then Glenn ended up saying, well, we have said that the exoskeleton will be part of all parts of the game. Or like he did that thing where it's like, okay, so of course it has something to do with that. I got actually an offhand comment about that. It sounded like there's going to be a playlist in the multiplayer where you can play without the exoskeleton actually, if you're into that. So that sort of was, side comment. The other question was about Dead Silence, and that's a big thing in the multiplayer community and in competitive has been Dead Silence. So in previous Call of Duties, you have a perk where you silence your footsteps so you can't hear, because it's so easy. And that's the same thing when we play GR Friday Nights. You can hear when the enemies come if you don't have that on. And that's not in the game as it is now. There's not a perk or anything that does that.
But then again, they haven't outlined nearly all the perks.
No, but they have said that as of now, it's not in the game.
Yeah.
They have said that as well. The thing is that when you this game is so much faster, and it has the exoskeleton, and when you use the exoskeleton, you actually pop up on the minimap. You want to shoot, and when you use
when you like do the jet jump.
So then you actually pop up there as well. And you can see it sort of when I use it, there's like a circle around me, and that's what that is. And you can also hear it. So it's not just footsteps. But he said, they had, Michael talked about this, he said they've also done like a whole new different sound engine, so they're sort of working on it. And we talked about how it is in Black Ops 2, actually, you would not use it in some situations. But he told me straight up, when the game comes out, there needs to be a Dead Silence perk, they will put it in.
Yeah. If they feel that they need to have it there to.
But there's been previous situations where people have been like, "Oh, we don't think it's needed." But he said, like, if it's needed, we will put it in. It's not in there now. We're still testing, and as of now, it seems like it's working without. But if it's a big problem, it'll be there probably at launch.
I'm gonna scroll back a little bit. I love that little shot of here when he brings up the shield.
I actually I was about to bring that up because that looks bad for me. I actually had an awesome moment at the studio where a guy did that and I had the shield. So when I stopped shooting and then I waited like half a second and then I pulled up my shield and then he shot. I was like, I got you. And then I started shooting and then he pulled up his shield again. And you have it for a limited time, so he didn't use all his shield and I didn't use. So we ended up having like a back and forth like 4 or 5 times with the shield up, and then in the end he got me. But I literally cracked up after that, and we were like talking about it. I mean, there was Deb who was doing that.
Nice.
And now that I've had so much hands-on, I'm beginning to feel, you always sort of need to learn the maps a little bit, and the guns a little bit, and not all the guns are there. But I'm getting into that thing where those moments happen more, where you feel like you know the game, and especially playing with devs as well, where these interesting, fun moments are happening with the new abilities, with the exoskeleton, dashing around a corner and shooting and all this, which is so much fun.
Yeah, and in conjunction with that, Over in the chat is asking, I want to know if it still feels stale and strict as COD games, or if you can move freely this time. Kind of a biased question.
Sort of loaded question, I'd say. I think if you I think in a lot of ways it still feels like Call of Duty, but I also think it feels just as much actually as Unreal Tournament in a way.
Okay.
The way you
I mean, I think I can actually, from some of the other
Yeah.
comments here in the chat, I can kind of read and rephrase this question. Does this feel like playing Titanfall?
I don't think it does. A little bit, it has some of it, but I think the big thing that Titanfall has, besides the Titans, is the wall running.
Yeah.
And in the beginning I was like, I actually like the wall running, but now I actually like that it's not there because that makes it different. It actually makes it feel different from Titanfall.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of other things in the game that is different than Titanfall. There's actually a mech sort of thing, sort of like a Titan you can get that is a little bit smaller. Which is really cool. And when we got that a couple of times first, that felt very overpowered. And I was like, oh, that's not good. But then they actually made something really interesting with that. That is sort of a suit, and it's totally open on the back. So if you shoot him on the back, he dies like really fast. And I actually saw someone like knife him like 3 times in the back, and that thing died. And in another situation, like they couldn't take that whole thing down at all. So it feels like they've added a lot of things, but none of what I have seen or tried yet after about 10 hours of multiplayer has felt unbalanced. That one I got shot by an enemy at one moment, and I was like, oh, that gun seems so overpowered. And then I tried it, and then it was slow to put up, and they were like, everything has its problems as well.
Ups and downs.
Yeah. So
this looks crazy.
Yeah, that's like akimbo crazy guns, but you're very slow with it. You can put it down, and you're more accurate because it's very inaccurate as well. Yeah. But in these like corridors, super fun to run around with. What else is there to talk about? What we played there was the same modes. We ended up playing deathmatch on all maps though. So it's still the deathmatch, the uplink, capture the flag, and hardpoint. He said that they're gonna have at least 12 game modes in the game. So he confirmed to me that they're gonna have kill confirmed as well, which I don't know if they've said that before. Searching the story, of course, is gonna be there. But it sounds like a lot of the old modes. I think Blitz is actually gonna be there, but I'm not sure. So, yeah. Then we talked a lot about the single player and the research and stuff, and they kept bringing up that, of course, like Kevin Spacey is a big thing to put on the game, but they were very adamant about that it's not just that. It is. He does add a lot of things, and it's not. You've seen in previous games where then, oh, we have this script writer or something, or this actor. He actually has been a big part of it and does a lot of great things with it.
From the interviews that we've done that I've seen and edited, I mean, they talk about him walking in and just taking it over, becoming the character and just, expounding on the script.
They talked a lot about how they had actually not told the other actors that he was in it for like the first scene or something, or like they hadn't at least explained it early on. So they were like, "Whoa, wait, he's here!" And it really elevated everyone. And he does that thing like that good actors does, where he sort of takes the character, and it didn't sound like he was part of writing the character to begin with, but they let him do his thing as well. So you could change dialogue if it.
It becomes that kind of thing, like he knows the character, and he's like, I know my character would say it like this.
Yeah, and you let good actors do their own thing in some situations. What else did we talk about? Yeah, then the whole weapon thing. They've done a lot of research with the guns, so all the tech is based on stuff that's actually here.
Yeah, viable.
Yeah. So of course some of it is bigger. They talked about the exoskeleton. Actually, it was something where they were beginning to have that here. And I've actually, if you follow the guys on Twitter, they actually post some of these things where you actually have now in the Marines in the US, you have an exoskeleton for Marines that it helps them carry stuff. So they're sort of taking those things and then evolved it, but then also remember what is really like fancy stuff in the military we don't know about. Like the newest stuff we don't know.
No, that's true.
And I don't know if you've played Black Ops 2, one of the last kill streak to get was the Swarm, and it sounds like that's in here as well, a version of that, and that's actually something that's there where like a series of drones is attacking.
Yeah, we saw that in the reveal trailer.
Yeah. So
where they were ripping off the doors and.
So a lot of that stuff is there. Then let's go into uplink. Maybe that is really the big new thing. When I talked to some of the pro players at Gamescom, they were a little bit worried about when they played it like the first time, but everyone seems to get into it a lot. Like it's fun, but it could be viable for competitive, I think. as well. When you sort of get to learn it, maybe there needs to be some changes to it, just like they ban other things, maybe some limitations to some of the powers. But it really is interesting, and just like Blitz when they added that in Ghost, that was, you did sneaks where you didn't shoot people. It sort of has that same thing here where when it's sort of like Halo with the capture flag, where you can't shoot when you have the orb, and that really adds something. And the fact that you can throw it to the enemy, which has happened to me a couple of times, and I tried it, but I can't get it to work to throw it at the guy. I tried to throw it at a guy, and then landed at his feet, and he just shot me, and then grabbed it. Where a guy actually threw it at me, and I was like shooting him, but then it removes your gun, and then he shot me and took it back. But it feels like, it's funny because I actually did in this gameplay, I have one moment where I just take it and run and score. But generally you don't do that. Like, it really feels like you need to play together as a team, which is really awesome because you won't have that situation where it's just, okay, the best player's on one team and that player can just run it. So that's really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, after Gamescom, there were some, like you said, worries from the pro player community about stuff like, you know, the jumps.
Yeah.
How much of a cooldown is there? And, you know, will there be esports rules where they limit some of the new stuff like, was any of that touched upon?
We talked a little bit about competitive, and actually, it wasn't off the record, but actually after, I talked a little bit with Michael at dinner about esports in general, because he's the one of those two guys who is most into that, just like I am a lot into it. He has been at nosy events and stuff, and so we talked a little bit about that, and it sounds like they really care a lot about that, and not just like pro players at tournaments, but making, you know, a competitive playlist that was sort of started with, and this is the moment where I just grab it and run, but having like an interesting playlist, just like you would have in League of Legends, have a sort of a rank system, really evolve that, and they want to do a lot of things with that. So I think that's great. There wasn't a lot of details, but they are doing that, and again, they're open to that things might need to change. I will say, when the stuff you can do with the suit, the jumping and dashing sort of recharges, but you can't. It's not that you can do it that much. Maybe there needs to be more limitation with pro players. But after you get into a little bit, I don't feel like it's too much. But it does add like a skill gap. Where I think one of the problems with Ghost was because it was so fluky, you would sometimes not have the best player win. And I feel like this. They managed to make this a game, it feels like, at least we'll see when it comes out, where it's still sort of easy enough to learn. It's still the base Call of Duty, you can get into it, and in some ways they've added things that makes it easier to be a newbie. But the jump to being really good, that is even bigger. There's even more to learn with the pick 13 and like with boosting, like I'm not really good yet at like dashing and all that stuff. That's really a lot to learn there, what to use in what moments, and knowing what class you have. Have I put on shield or cloak, or there's one like I started using for this mode where you run faster. So if you get the orb, great to have that on if you're the guy running the orb. But if you're not that guy, maybe you want to be a supporter and have the shield and that sort of thing. So the things that I think is really helping for people who are new to it, who might be afraid of getting into Call of Duty, is, for instance, they've added co-op score streaks. So if we're playing and you're like, I'm never getting those streaks, then if I get one, I can add a thing to my streaks where then you can jump in it with me and we can both be shooting.
So I share your glory.
Yeah. Another thing is the whole loot system. See, I think that was actually that moment where I tried. Where you will get rewards, some of the loots, and actually some care packages just by playing. So if you're like, I'm never getting 3 or 4 kills in a row to get a care package, well, if you just play a lot, you will get it just by like loot drops, which is really awesome. And then those you won't get the super crazy ones, at least as of now, which I like, that I'm not gonna play against one guy and then because he got a lucky thing in the earlier map, you know, because it's in the next map you can use it, then I'm gonna get like completely wrecked. But so again, we'll see when it comes out, but so far it seems like they've done a lot of things where they have hit a good balance, and there's nothing like, you know, in all the Call of Duties we had like death streaks where you would have like Deathman Trap, where you would pull out a C4 if you died a lot, and then like it would be so frustrating to be doing well, and then because some guy had died 5 times in a row, he could like suicide kill you.
Yeah. Now, one thing that I was wondering about after seeing the trailer, the multiplayer reveal trailer. I mean, in Ghost they had a little bit of like interactive environments in the maps. Yeah. Not on the scale that Battlefield had, of course, but like this map, for example, it has like a tsunami coming in or something like that.
They're still doing that. They also had that in Black Ops 2, where actually they took it out for the for the pro leagues and all that stuff. There was only really this one has the tsunami, which I'm actually not a fan of those things. This one seemed to work okay. Because I don't want to ruin. Like I've heard pro players talk about as well in Black Ops 2, where you had a level with like trains, and if you're like you use that map for search and destroy for the big $1 million tournament, and then it's 1-on-1 final, and then the guy gets taken. Yeah, you don't want that.
No.
But this is not something like that. I don't know if you can actually get killed, but you get sort of a warning. It happens and it sort of just changes the landscape of the map. So for that, I think it works really well. The other ones didn't have something like that. There was one of the maps that had Biolab, the snow lab thing, had explosive barrels that could like send out toxic. There was the Capture the Flag map we played had guns you could sort of win the right to. You could like hack them or something and then get them, which that I didn't like. But it wasn't too bad. But so some of that might need to go away in competitive. But I think a very good thing that the competitive community has also talked about, that they don't want to go ban heavy up front.
Yeah.
They want to like also let's see how it works, you know, and let's see if something is overpowered before we just ban everything. Because that was one of the sad things about Ghost as well.
Let's see what we can do with this.
Yeah.
And
for Ghost, they just took out all kill streaks, and it took out a lot of perks and a lot of guns up front. And I mean, let's see what happens. Maybe there's a way to counter it when the pros learn how to play it. So yeah.
A specific question here from over in the chat. How is the damage on core? Is it 3 to 4 bullets as in Ghost, or is it like 10 as in Black Ops?
No, it's everything is way more Black Ops. It feels like they started with the Black Ops mold. What also to remember, which they also like to say a lot, this is a 3-year dev cycle. All previous Call of Duties has had 2 years. So they started this game at the same time as Ghost, but they've had a year more. So I feel like I haven't played Black Ops 2 and I haven't played Ghost since I got back from this trip, so I'm not 100% sure. But it feels very similar to Black Ops. Maybe you die a little bit faster is my feeling. Yeah. But that's actually good. I think it's a good balance with how much you move, because I feel like if it was more,
you'd be out of
then that wouldn't be working proper. But it's definitely not like Ghost where you die super fast. So yeah, that's so far really really good. Yeah, the health balance seems really good. The guns so far it seems really good. So far we've played with 3 assault rifles. There's 2 that are sort of similar, normal, automatic, and then there was one 3-round burst gun, which they might need to patch a little bit. I will see when it comes out. I think if you're really good, it felt like the FAL that they banned at the end of Black Ops 2, but it's a burst gun, so you can like 1 or 2 burst. It's probably a 2 burst. So if you're good, I could see that being a little bit crazy. But when we played it here, it wasn't a problem. 3 submachine guns, not too different, but a little bit. Then we played with, there was a shotgun that seemed really good, really short range. I like it. There was a proper shotgun where if you shoot it like far away, like 5 meters, you're not going to get it.
But if you're up close
you are. Like if you meet a guy with a shotgun, you're done. Yeah. There was a sniper rifle, which was okay. There's a secondary pistol, which you put like an ACOG on. It's sort of like a sniper rifle, and actually to me felt better. There's another secondary pistol, which is more like a normal one. Then you have the 2 sort of power weapons, the power weapon category. There's the dual one that we saw earlier, and the laser gun, which is sort of a mix between an LMG and an assault rifle.
Now this gameplay here that we, like I said before, we had recorded at Gamescom, is being played on the Xbox One.
Yeah, everything we're doing now is Xbox One. It'll also say in some of the trailers. Yeah. I mean, they're doing all the consoles as they're saying.
Yeah, because they have the limited time exclusive.
Yeah, I think that's there. That's still happening the same as it's been in previous ones. But the game is coming out the same day as the DLC. That's delayed.
But as our viewers should be acutely aware of, you are a PlayStation player normally. How was it switching over?
It actually wasn't that big of a problem, I feel. Maybe because I hadn't played Ghosts in a while, and it is different. It felt pretty natural. I've also played quite a bit with the Xbox One controller now. And I play on 360 here in the office as well sometimes. And I could actually, we'll see about the money, but I wouldn't mind maybe getting an Xbox One and playing a bit on there as well. So, yeah, I mean, it feels good on. I haven't played this on anything. Yeah, almost got it.
Oh, that was close.
And then we get to overtime.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that was in the overtime. Yeah. They got like a super fast cap in this, like 15 seconds, I think. Another thing, as you see here, what I'm actually using, some of the guns are not the standard guns. I think this one might be what the assault rifle I was using. Yeah. That's the loot thing. You pretty quickly get like, different guns. And I like using them a little bit because you get like a free extra attachment. But they're not better in any way, so you're not going to have that thing, it feels like at least, that, oh, I didn't get that dropped gun, so I don't have a chance. Yeah. But it's an interesting mix where you get, 10 different weapons of each weapon actually. So you get one that has a silencer built in, and you get one with an ACOG built in, and that makes you, that's another thing with that skill cap, where it gives you so much more customization, and like you can really choose how you wanna play, and if you get that one with an ACOG, well, then you have 2 other attachments that you could put on, and don't have to waste one on the ACOG. So you can really, yeah, super. So the shotgun is that energy sort of thing as well, which is really cool.
Nice. Solfin, can you maybe check if the interview is finished exporting? We can maybe.
Yeah.
It's not.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
Well, watch it on the site instead.
Yeah, we'll put up a lot of stuff next week, and I'm writing the article, which should be in the next magazine. So look forward to that. I'm sort of still not sure if I'll put it up in one long interview or several. What else have we talked about over there? Yeah, I think for me, Call of Duty has always been. I've enjoyed single player in the past. But it's been more sort of a moment to moment. There's cool moments, just like we've had playing Spec Ops. It's more of those fight moments that's interesting, and in the story, like you have to take out that Burger Town. Okay, that's the story I care about. Yeah. I haven't really cared about the overall story. But this one, I wasn't actually that blown away at E3. But after Gamescom and after seeing what they showed at the studio, I'm actually getting way more into it. They've chosen a single protagonist, and they seem to care a lot more about the story this time. So I see potential in that being a lot better.
Less Michael Bay, maybe?
Yeah, definitely. So again, we'll see how it works out. And then the whole thing with the technology, it actually seems more based in reality, and the whole idea of that's something you could talk about as well. It is sort of scary now. We are hearing stories about private military companies sending, private soldiers to war zones. Yeah. And that's what the game is about. And what they talked about of that sounded really cool and really like actually current, and it's sort of scary. Like this could be.
I don't know if cool would be the.
No, but it is that combination of there's cool guys.
There's actually a very nice little mini documentary that Vice did in cooperation with Activision on this new type of private military thing. That's. I think we have it up on the site. Otherwise, it's on the official Call of Duty channel. Good for a watch. Vice stuff, always great.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, it's just nice that it's still Call of Duty. They're innovating on the multiplayer. The story seems interesting, and it actually feels like the story actually has something to say as well. It's not just a Michael Bay film. It's a cool action film, but it actually has something to say about things that are like a problem we might have in the future. Yeah. Again, we'll see what.
Let's just hope that Kevin Spacey keeps up his profession as an actor and doesn't become a method actor.
Yeah. And again, like I haven't seen that much. I haven't played the single player, but what they showed were really cool. And I think just having a single protagonist helps a lot instead of swapping back and forth, which makes sense if you let's follow that soldier in the snow region, let's follow that soldier in another region, and then we can do that. But yeah. What else? Is there any questions in?
I mean, there's a lot of question in the chat regarding what we're doing next week and into the future. So maybe we have 10 minutes.
Let's actually, for how much time? We also need to find winners. So what's there?
Yeah, let's start with finding the winners.
So I'm gonna find the comments on Facebook, and I'll just. I am sort of leaning to. We had questions about the co-op and about the dead silence, and I'm actually leaning towards the dead silence question. I don't know if I should read you the questions.
Go ahead.
Or if I should just see here. So I'm thinking we'll give away the T-shirt to someone here in the chat, and we'll give away the other stuff to the person with the best comment.
I have one question here that I saw earlier that I forgot to ask that I actually think deserves maybe a little something. Also because he's gonna make me say this name out loud. So /K_K_75_ asks, I want to know, is there optional offline LAN mode in Advanced Warfare? This nowadays online gaming is boring with you have to have Origin and Steam. That would be nice if there's optional offline LAN mode. And this actually touches home with me.
I don't know about offline, but yes, there is a LAN mode, and that's another thing that competitive players have asked about. There's broadcaster modes, which we need for GR Friday nights, and the need for tournaments. Yeah. So all that is in there. You can
Day one.
Yeah, so they can take the when they do tournaments, they play on Xbox One. Take the Xbox Ones, hook them up, and play LAN. It's there.
Nice.
So that's there's a list in one of the trailers, and I'll put it in the interview. Of stuff that they're saying this is going to be here day one. Ranked playlist, theater mode, LAN stuff, all that stuff. So like we're good in that, and they sound like they're really going to push it. And we'll see like if there's more that's going to be there before release. But at least they sound like they're listening a lot more than Ghost was doing. I don't think that was really because they didn't want to listen. I think that was they were having problems with the new consoles developing in a short time.
Yeah, they were crunching a lot.
And here they have had more time to do the story, but also to innovate on some of the other things. And I'm a little bit worried, and I told them, they were like, so they're always on these trips, so what do you think? Like, and I was like, well, I'm really positive, but I'm actually worried because this looks really good. And I'm worried that I'm going to be the guy who sits down and be like, yay, this is amazing, and then it's not. But this is giving me the feeling there's potential that this could be the next COD 4. This could be the jump that we got to Modern Warfare from all the Second World War stuff. We have Titanfall now, and then this is the next jump in shooters. That will be the innovation, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
All right. So,
were you actually going to give away this cup?
I was not planning on that because it's broken, but maybe someone wants it or what?
Yeah, Branko's actually named it.
Yeah.
So
has he named it?
Yeah, he's giving it a name, and he's getting some support here in the chat that it should be his.
It should be his. Okay, maybe.
We'll try shipping it. Yeah. Hopefully, it doesn't break anymore.
Well, it's already broken. Yeah. So, all right. So let me ask. There's 4 questions. Tell you the 4 questions. So one of the questions was, why doesn't AW have dead silence? I think that will change a lot in competitive games because you cannot move that much anymore. That was one question. And then the other ones were sort of similar. Let me see. Here they are. So the other questions were, when will they give more information about the co-op mode and what is it? Another question, will the co-op mode possibly be featured in the actual campaign? They wouldn't say anything about that. Also, will there be multiplayer game mode that features original core play that doesn't use the exoskeleton? Yes, there will be.
Yeah.
That's
actually
not directly, but they sort of offhand were like, yeah, we're going to do a mode without that stuff. It's like, oh, okay. Is there some kind of zombie mode in Advanced Warfare? Because there's zombie round counter on the Advanced Warfare Xbox controller. I haven't seen that. So, but it didn't sound like it was
zombies.
No. So which question do you think we should pick?
I actually like that second one there that touches upon if it's going to be without exoskeletons or not.
Let's do that.
I think that's an interesting question.
That's Nate Parker. So I will contact you through Facebook if you're watching this. Remember to check your other inbox.
Yeah.
Because I remember a year or so ago we were actually, not us, but we were giving away an iPad on Gamereactor.
Yeah.
And someone didn't answer for 3 months, and then we gave it to someone else.
Yeah. And then I just checked my other inbox. Well.
Yeah. So check your inbox, and we'll give you this.
and then we'll pick someone here who should get the T-shirt.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Branko wants the broken.
Yeah, Branko gets the cup. There's already a hashtag cup for Branko.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking that ridiculous username.
Did you have a good question?
Yeah, that was the question that I read up about the LAN mode.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, let's say you get this. So
yeah, so /K_75__ you get a T-shirt. Congratulations, thanks for participating.
It is a little bit big, but I'm sure you'll be happy either way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we need to find somebody who can write down their thoughts.
Yeah. No, but that was the Facebook comment.
Oh, that was a Facebook thing.
So,
okay.
yeah, come. I don't know if it's interesting. It's not that. It's a pen and then it's a notebook. It says Sledgehammer on it. It's pretty cool.
Useful.
I have other stuff, and where I've been asked about that. We plan to give away more stuff, and I've been told I'll get more things as well. I'm probably going to get more T-shirts, maybe more backpacks. I have the headphones. I might give those away. Actually, to be completely honest, the main problem is it's really expensive to ship.
Yeah.
So we might give something, like we can give better prices away in a way. Anyway, we'll see about that. So there will be more prizes to give away, both on Facebook and in the stream.
Yeah, and of course we're gonna have GR Friday nights returning.
Exactly.
What's the schedule?
So the plan is from now on, every 2 weeks. So not next Friday, but the Friday after, we'll have 4 GR Friday nights before Advanced Warfare launches. So we'll play Ghosts 4 times. The plan is to do it 1 time on 360, 1 time on Xbox One, 1 time on PS3, 1 time on PS4. And then it's not all settled, but of course we'll play a lot. I'm hoping we'll get to do a lot of Advanced Warfare in the first couple of weeks, so we can get everyone in on it and play all the formats and also get to PC. And maybe do something for launch.
Yeah, because that's something that you users have been asking for a long time. So yeah. So this is the time.
We'll sort something.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
But yeah, so the guy who won, stay in the chat so we can contact you.
He isn't in the chat anymore though, but I'm pretty sure he's a
figure it
user
out.
on the site, so I'll send him a message through there. Also, yeah, people have been asking what we're doing next week. Of course, we have a slightly different schedule these days. We are running 3 days a week instead of every day of the week, at least while we're still editing stuff from Gamescom and stuff like that. And, well, we're going to be moving into doing more reviews, something that we've been wanting to focus more on for quite some time. But yes, next week is going to...
It's not locked down, but... we're supposed to do Madden on Monday, Infamous on Wednesday, and then iOS games with Lee and news on Friday. We might swap around Infamous and Madden, depends on a lot of things, but so check the site on Monday.
Yeah.
But that's the 3 things we're planning on doing.
Yeah, and then the plan as well is that we'll have a schedule for the week lockdown, and we'll update that every Monday morning. So on the /live site, there will be a graphic.
From next week, it should be more like if you go to light site, you should be able to see the whole week's plan, maybe more in the future.
Yeah, and we'll try to stick to it. But of course, when interesting things pop up and we get offered a title out of nowhere.
Actually, just like it happened this week, the Crew was something we got offered the day before, I think, and we were like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah.
It's a big game, it's not out, let's show that.
Yeah.
And it's like if they're Sledgehammer is watching and they like next week, like, do you want to play Call of Duty Advanced Warfare?
Yeah, should we send you a code and an
like,
Xbox?
yes.
Yeah.
Then we'll do that. Week after, there will be a lot of Destiny stuff. We'll play that on a Tuesday as well when the game comes out. So that will be a week where we do something special about that.
And I'm trying to push for Nick and other guys in the network that get Destiny to week after, or the Monday after it comes out, to do a raid and play that through from start to finish.
I can actually say, so we're streaming Tuesday, not next week, the week after. White PS4 bundle coming out. I'm gonna go buy it. I'm gonna do an unboxing. We're gonna show you how I've actually bought a hard drive to change. We're gonna do a video on that. Gonna play it in that stream. I have taken Wednesday off, so I'm gonna play Destiny at home. I plan to be like max level by the next Monday. Yeah. I don't know if that's possible, but I'm aiming for it. So I hope that next Monday we'll be able to show like in-game stuff.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I won't be here for most of it because I'm going on vacation.
Yeah. Well, you'll be back the day after Destiny launches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm strongly considering actually buying a PS4 bundle because the four of you all playing together, that's something I want in on.
So far, at least me, Mike, and Gillen are going to do it. I think Bengt is going to do it as well, and I think a lot of other people. It really sounds like that's the. I think for me, like it's going to be Destiny for a few months. I'll play all the games, and then up until Call of Duty, and then that's going to be the multiplayer game for a few months.
But anyway, that's us out of time. Congratulations to all the winners.
Be sure to ask more questions on the GR Friday Night's Facebook page as well. It's helpful for me, and if you have some good questions when we ask the developers, I'll ask them, and we can get the info.
Follow the site. The interview that Nick filmed is going to be coming out Monday, hopefully.
Yeah. And I might do other videos on that as well, like going into detail about guns and modes and stuff, if you're interested in that.
Yeah. So that's it for now. Join us again next week, again for Madden and Infamous
DLC, First Light.
First Light. I was almost at Last Light there. And then iOS games and news on Friday. So thanks for that. And as always, see you on the flip side.